Chase Hockey, Blue Futon, and Out of the Digital World, we'll call it Out of the Theaters, is, with my lazy eye, is You Should Have Left, the Amanda Seyfried and Kevin Bacon horror movie. Is it a horror movie, thriller, drama, boring? Let's find out after this intro at a TV near you. So You Should Have Left. What is it about? It's kind of how I said in the beginning. It's a haunted house movie where Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried are married. He used to be a banker, but something bad happened to his past, and she is an actress. And they want to kind of get away while she has to film a movie in London. So they go to Wales and they find this house to rent and to stay in for a couple days, kind of for like a vacation. It's a cool looking house, interesting, weird. Not my type of style, honestly, but weird stuff happens in this house where people disappear. Walls are not right, as well as just portals to different parts of the house and different timelines of the house, present and future. And that's this movie. So what did I like this movie? Not so much. But let's talk about the likes of the movie. I liked how it looked. I liked how it felt very real. And how I say real is not a lot of CGI. The house felt like it was a house. It didn't feel like a set. Everything on that level I liked. I kind of like the outside world and how the actual exterior interior house works. The acting is fine. The girl does a good job. Kevin Bacon, Amanda Seyfried, they all do a good job. Those are really the main three actors in this movie. Other than that, I find the story kind of weak, and the actual story doesn't make any sense in that way. For example, no one knows where the house came from. There is dialogue in this movie where Kevin and Amanda are kind of confused, like, "Oh, you're the one that emailed the link to me. No, you emailed it to me." And so then they kind of dropped it. So they're like, "Who actually booked this house?" Or who actually found it? It doesn't really explain that. And when he goes to the town folk, Kevin goes to some of these town folk, and they're like, "Oh, the house changes. Used to be a tower, and the house changes for the person." And then when Kevin tries to contact the town folk for a taxi, they're like, "I can't pick you up because the house decides what you need to do." And you're like, "Huh? What? Who's building this house? Like, what's happening to this house? Like, what is this house? Is it a devil house? Does the Satan build a house differently for each person that wants to rent the house?" So it's kind of confusing. And then at the very end, the house goes up for sale, but it's the same house. So is the house going to change anytime soon or not? And this is labeled as a horror movie. There's no horror in this movie at all. There's some, shadows or people going in front of a camera, and that's about it. Not a lot of style, not a lot of substance, and a lot of the story just doesn't make sense because Kevin Bacon has to write stuff in his journal because something happened to his past, but what he's writing, someone else writes other stuff in his book, and you figure out who wrote it in the book later on in the movie, but you're like, how is that possible? Like, these timelines aren't really matching. You would think that if somebody writes something in the book, you would know the handwriting of the person, but you don't. And the overall ending of what actually happens is very anticlimactic. You're like, oh, okay, that just happened, and that's how we're ending it. So overall, it's a very weak movie. Spending $20 on this kind of hurts the soul because something like this would cost me $7 in the real world. Now it's costing me $20 just to rent by myself with no friends or family or loved ones except my dog. So yeah, $20 down the drain, kind of, if you want to put it that way. But overall, You Should Have Left. Doesn't make sense. Some cool style elements, but acting's fine. The fine with the house, how the house looks, but the story and the writing really doesn't add up at all to what a movie like this should do. No horror, no scares, not even thrills in this movie. You feel like it should have gone a different way. This is a very weak PG-13 movie. I think, well, there was some sex in this movie. It's kind of for comical relief, but overall, if it was R, a super, super weak R, and if it was PG-13, still a very weak PG-13, actually, when you think about it. So You Should Have Left will receive 1.5 out of 5 with Futons because at 30%. So see the critics' scores gave this one. Interesting, the critics of 46%, kind of higher than I thought, with 67 of them, and the audience score 31% with 75. Here's critic consensus. You Should Have Left hints at a genuinely creepy experience, but never quite manages to distill its intriguing ingredients into a consistently satisfying Oh, I mean, I'll have to disagree because to me, you understand the story, but the story never comes into fruition. Like it happens, but you're like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And at very end, you're just like, oh, that's how we're ending it. I mean, yeah, the house transportation device, if you want to put it that way, is kind of cool. Has a good creepy factor to it, but just the overall story of what we're supposed to believe happens, but you're not. Doesn't make sense. Let's put it that way. So do you get the 30, the 31, or the 46? Yes. Chase out the Blue Futon, like, comment, subscribe. I don't think it's Futon, Toby, Blue Futon. Just thank you for watching. Have a great day. Yeah, there's that one. I still gotta watch King of Staten Island and The Wretched, and random other ones that show up there. But let's just keep them coming, guys. Just keep them coming.